All right, how's it going, Rogue Meatwad? Rogue Meatwad here again, and
Pants,
Pants or Eugene, whatever.
your choice.
It's all good. This is podcast two. I'm thinking of just calling it podcasters. I mean, since so far it's just me and you doing this shit, so
Someone's gotta break the mold, and keeping it simple is the easiest way to go about things.
agreed. Fuck working for something difficult.
Yeah, and as it comes to topics, I guess we're pretty loosely based on those.
Yeah, no shit.
Fuck it.
So, all right. I told you about this when we were talking before we started doing this, but Machinima ETC does every week they do best of vines, and they did kids getting abused.
Well, there's a real truth to it. I mean, I remember growing up, when parents get out the cameras and do all kinds of things so they can get it on tape, and Vine's just exploiting it just a little bit more.
Yeah, but these people are exploiting kids now to get views on Vine
Well,
and or YouTube, which is fucked up. I mean, if you go, I'll put a link down in the description to this video that I'm talking about from Machinima ETC. I don't think they're, I don't know, raising these people up, but they're just showing how bad people are, I guess.
Well, I guess the difference is, exploitation to get views is probably a pretty serious issue. Now, if it's to show your friends or one thing, the problem is you're still abusing your kid, but it's to keep it, like, I don't know, in a comedic way for your friends to see how embarrassing things are when they grow up. But when it's open for the world, I don't know. Is that too far?
Yeah, because some of these videos are kind of bad. Like, you're like, how? Why would they one let these kids do half the shit they're doing or saying, and B, there's at least two of them where you're like, is that kid gonna be okay? Like,
Well, I don't know. For background information about me, I drive a school bus. There's nothing too surprising to me anymore. So when I'm dealing with kids, not so much one on one, but as a group, as a glorified babysitter that drives and takes care of kids, nothing surprises me anymore. So when I see parents exploiting their kids to do stupid stuff and whatever, I guess I'm desensitized to that.
are you just not apathetic to these kids? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I don't think I could be. I mean, I worked in the school systems for 2 years, and they're assholes, man. Like, I think the only time I liked the kids is when I was in like elementary schools, because they seemed all right. Like, I didn't, unless when I was in Detroit. That, I mean, when I got a fucking 5-year-old tried mugging me, that was, I mean, that was pretty funny, but it was also pretty sad. But no, like when I worked in middle schools and like high schools, the colleges weren't bad. But yeah, like the middle and high school, those kids are assholes. Like, no matter where I was at.
I guess what it comes down to is, when I think about it, I know I can't control things, and I can't, like I see what they do, and I think kids come equipped with guts these days. There's no foundation of respect geared toward elderly or whatever, because everything's, because all parents teach their kids, like, defend yourself, and because, if you don't do it, and no one else is gonna do it for you, and they were, I think, I guess I'm going off the wrong way with this. I think kids have the issue of coming with their guts equipped to do these things because the parents tell them to do them. Now, at the same time, you have the parents doing stupid things for their kids to get them to do stupid things and exploit the shit out of it, and it turns out to be funny. So when they go to school or whatever, hey, I saw that Vine of you. I think the deeper seated issue is, would it create bullying in school if their peers were to see it? But it's still,
I think, yeah, that would be another way of creating bullying. I mean, in every school you go in now, and I'm sure it's bred into you with your job, is, to stop bullying. Because you go into any school now, and there's like every 4 fucking feet on the wall is stop bullying, or.
It doesn't work. I'll tell you that firsthand. It doesn't work. Because, kids are going to go home and be kids. And depending if you live in a big neighborhood, with lots of kids, maybe a different story. But a lot of these kids that live by themselves, or live in a neighborhood where their closest friends like so far away, like a pretty good distance away.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not gonna get those qualities in life, I guess, so to
No,
speak.
yeah, I'll agree with this. So basically, what you're saying, there's no real apathy for these kids that are being exploited. I mean, I kind of feel bad because like some of these kids are getting hurt. That's where I feel bad. But I think I get more pissed off at the parents for letting their 5-year-old say "fuck you" or something on those lines. And to go kind of back to what you were saying, these kids come equipped with guts and I've had this conversation with quite a few people. I don't think it's guts. It's just lack of respect, like you said, for your elders or just people in general. And I think this generation of kids is I've heard them referred to as the entitlement generation, where they feel everything is entitled to them. And as a gamer, and I know you don't play multiplayer games all that much, like I do, but when I'm playing Call of Duty or like Halo or something, these kids are just straight up assholes, and they think they should win all the time, and they motherfuck you. I had a kid. Me and Jeebus were playing Search and Destroy, and we just decimated the team. Just me and him on our team got the win for us, and we steamrolled the other team. In the last round, I had the kid. It was just me and him alive, and I heard him because I got a nice set of headphones. Turtle Beaches, by the way, check them out. Not sponsored. Sponsor, hopefully. But at the end of the match, he just straight up just yells, "Fuck you!" Because you fucking cheating piece of shit. You got a nice set of. I'm like, yeah, I paid money for a headset. What's wrong with that? He's like, you're a fucking cheater. I'm like, did you think you deserved to win? It's like, fuck you, man. Use fucking cheap ass headsets. I'm like, actually, they were kind of expensive, and even if I didn't hear you, you were gonna die. I go, we stomped the shit out of you in every aspect, and just because I heard you one time, and that kid obviously thought he should win, and a lot of other kids, and and you can see that it's prevalent, and not just like playing video games and like because of anonymity. Did I say it right that time?
I
don't know. Fuck it.
We'll go with it.
But yeah, even these kids in public, like they're assholes to you because you can't touch me, you can't,
Well, it's true. You roll the clock back, 80s, or no, we'll go further back, 70s. You would get paddled still. Now,
Well, yeah, they took a lot of discipline out of schools because
the whole argument of corporal punishment.
yes, like I mean when what was it when we were in high school and you're a few years older than me, even like you would at least get suspended or Saturday schools, detention, shit like that. Now it's well, if I get suspended, I'm gonna get a lawyer or some stupid shit like that.
I remember getting suspended was 3 days out. Now in school suspension was like being jailed. I say you should give people in school suspension, but then
Oh, that sucked. My last 5 days of my high school career, I spent in school suspension because of something stupid.
oof.
I mean, granted, I didn't fucking care and I didn't listen to the in school teacher. She's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, listen, I'm graduating in 5 days. I go, you can't do anything to me that's gonna be relevant. I go, you can go bitch to the vice principal or the principal.
I'm just gonna sit here and do whatever.
I'm just gonna do what I want.
Well,
But no, yeah, they took corporal punishment out.
see, I remember corporal punishment because I went to a private school, and I remember, I did something very, very wrong. I don't remember what I did, but it was obviously so bad that I had to hold 3 Bibles in each hand with my arms out. And I'll tell you what. First minute, it's kind of okay. Minute 2, arms are on fire. Mind you, I think I was in like 4th grade, something like that. So we'll dial the clock back to, that'd be early 90s. Ooh. Damn it. Bring about
yeah, just date yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
No, but even when I was in elementary school, they still paddled kids. So
Okay, well,
and that was like early '90s, and
I think making a kid hold the Bible is kind of extreme because I went through it as a kid, but at the same time, I see myself being pretty reserved and like not doing it again.
it taught you that there's a consequence to your actions, which I don't think there is.
I believe there is no consequence to the action the kids have these days.
Yeah, and I don't think it really matters where you grow up. If you grow up in the asshole northeast corner of Ohio like us, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, if you're brought up with no consequences to bad actions, then you're just gonna be an asshole. I mean, it's pretty plain and simple. I mean, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna do shit because you think you can get away with it.
Well, I don't know. I kind of dealt with this issue. I have a friend that I'm kind that's a good friend of mine. I'm close to, and she has an issue with her son, and an issue is like he has no value of a dollar. Like he gets pretty much what he wants without having to work for it or work towards it. In a sense, like I try to ask.
It's kind of like he's entitled to it.
Yeah, it's gonna come no matter what. And I kind of see that he's gonna have some issues if he doesn't start learning those things. And maybe that's what the parents of this generation are used to or accustomed to, or maybe I could be totally wrong on this. Like parents just don't know how to be parents anymore.
I'd agree with that. I mean, as two non-parents, I would totally agree with that. I mean, I see a couple of our friends that have kids, parent them, and like they should be parented. They yell at them when they do something wrong, or they smack them on their bottom. And most of our friends have young children.
Yeah.
Our same friends, and that's one is showing them discipline and humility, reserve, all that bullshit. But my one buddy Ken, he was nice enough to comment on a couple of our last, actually on our last podcast. I've been around him and his family. He's an older guy, but he disciplines his kids. And he does. He's doing what he was taught, and I think he's a great father for it. And I see our young friends. Well, we're so semi-young, but they're teaching the kids the same way. And I see people that we don't know with their kids, and they ignore their kids. They get their kids what they want when they want it,
just to shut them up,
yeah,
so they can
just
go
to
about
shut
their
them up.
day.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Like my parents did that at one point, but you have to become the better parent. You got to draw the line somewhere. I hate to say it, my whole thing is I see myself if I were to have kids. At first, when you don't do anything with their babies and all that, and you watch them grow up, and then they hit the terrible twos, is what they call it. Maybe a little tap on the bottom here and there when they're acting up. Once they already learn how to speak and they develop things to a certain degree, so they start to see the moral consciences of of right and wrong. But they're still exploring at that young age, and so as they get a little older, I want to say for me, where it gets intense, where they have to learn the right and wrong things around 4 and 5, right before preschool. And then
I think that's mentally. I think that's when children start actually learning shit and remembering, not to the T like you would as an adult, but it'll be ingrained in them.
This is right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I think what it is a lot of parents just, they. My heart goes out to all the people that are parents. I'll give them that. But I have to. I guess I have a strong point of view of when I say I don't think a lot of parents know where to take responsibility to step up to be a good parent. Anyone can be a parent, but to be a good parent, you got to be involved. An issue I have with people are cell phones and texting. Yeah, you can turn the TV on to babysit your kid all day long, or video games babysit your kid all day long. But you have to get more involved. Okay, yeah, I took my kid to the doctor. Big deal. You took him to the doctor. You care for it. Great. Yeah, I'm saying it because that's how you're treating it as until you see it as your child.
Yeah. Well, you have to be, if I would think, to be a good parent, like you said, yeah, well, you took them to the doctor, that's kind of your responsibility. It's also your responsibility to make sure they're not watching fucking porno or
Yep.
lewd TV like Jerry Springer or half the shit that's on TV now, like Teen Mom and half these fucking reality shows. And then I'll even say video games. Many, like,
No.
no, I'm good. It kind of pisses me off because like, and it's back to like hearing these kids motherfuck you like while you're playing multiplayer on Call of Duty, Halo, whatever you're playing. Uh, you hear this fucking squeaker just cussing you out, and you're like, how the fuck did you even get this game? You have to be at least 17.
That's a fine question.
See, and that's bad parenting. Uh, the MSRB or whatever the fuck it is, the rating system wasn't really in place for us. But you know what? I mean, things have gotten more violent and more adult as we got older. So a lot of that shit wasn't available to us at that age.
Well, this is.
But
I see where you're going with that argument. I'll give you a fine example. Be more our generation. When it came to buying music, we had the
oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
we had the label illicit lyrics.
Yeah, parental advisory.
Parental advisory. Now, I don't think an ESRB rating is really doing anything because, to be honest, if you're gonna buy your kids video games to play, take the fucking time to play the game.
Yeah, or do some research before you buy it for them. And to tell you the truth, man, if I was an adult and my 13, 14-year-old son wanted to, hey, Dad, will you go buy Deadpool for me? Hey, Dad, will you go buy Call of Duty for me? And right there, that should have been like, Deadpool, why is there dead in there? Let me see what this is. Oh, it's about a foul-mouthed comic book character that... I'm like, no, you're not fucking playing that. Call of Duty, that sounds like a military shooter. Do some research. Oh, that's bloody as shit. And
Yeah, it all ties in last week when we talked about violence in video games. Yeah, games are recreated to become more lifelike as the technology progresses, which is fine and dandy and all. Next thing you know, we're gonna be in simulations like with the headsets and holy shit, wouldn't it be crazy if the evolution of video games is, guess what? It's not that you're playing a video game, you're in the video game.
yeah, I mean, I think the Oculus Rift is showing that. Like, it's getting even closer.
No, what I'm saying is now that they keep pushing the Kinect and the Move and everything, becoming more involved with your video games, or like, remember that movie Gamer that came out?
Yeah.
You control whatever?
Yeah, you actually control a real life person in either a Sims like scenario or a combat scenario, and people are actually physically affected by it.
Yeah. So, I don't see what the big deal is, or I mean, it's what we achieve as gamers to want to have something lifelike. But for me, I don't need anything lifelike. Give me some Super Mario Brothers, and I'm happy that they're pig and shit. I have no problem side scrolling, as long as it keeps it like I'll replay Mario Brothers, any of them, all day long, because it has a replay value that's just fun and simple for me. And I know where this is at, and I know where that's is at. Where everything's gonna be, where the warps are, where the warps aren't. But the difference is, it's because I'm accustomed to it. I'm not putting a lot of thought into it, and it's fun. There's not really too much violence unless you consider squishing a Goomba or knocking a turtle out of its shell.
Yeah, that's really not that violent. But I mean, back to getting more and more real is, I mean, could that happen? I don't think we'll see it if it ever does.
Oh.
I don't think technology will advance that fast while we're alive. But
well, that by the time that comes out, we'll be eating our meals in pill form and not eating at all.
Yeah, we'll be fucking shitting ourselves even more uncontrollable than we are now.
So I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, that was a nice segue. Like, we got into bad parenting and kids being assholes.
Yeah. I don't think we went anywhere with that one. And then we ended up moving on to video games. Well, I guess that's what we're more geared towards.
Yeah, video games, movies, shit like that. GTA 5. I know you. You've probably actually seen it played.
I did see it play, and I've seen some in person gameplay. Uh, Not a fan. No, don't get me wrong. I played four, never touched five. I'll say it looks just like four, except a lot prettier. 5 years. Was it a 5 year gap since four and five? I believe 2000 was it 2007 or 2008 when it come out.
Sure, I'll let you know here in a minute. But
But anyways, it looks standard Grand Theft Auto. Run around, except this time there's three character integrations.
mm-hmm.
You start as so and so, then the story moves and it changes to this other person, and you evolve from that. Now my issue is like it has the map, and now it has three different.
2008.
See, that was close.
So 7 years ago.
Five.
Yeah, about 5. Oh,
Yeah, 8, 13, 5.
yeah. Math, not my strong suit.
See, this is why you go learn. This is why we go learn algebra.
It's not algebra. That's simple math.
So, anyways, standard Grand Theft Auto. You go do the missions, run around, do whatever. You don't have to do the missions, or you can run around and do whatever you want. I'm sure there's codes to put in. I'm not.
Yeah, there's. I've seen someone put them in. Like I watched someone stream it for a little bit, but.
But my whole gripe is do I really? Now they have this ability bar where each character has a special ability. I don't know.
I kind of heard it almost breaks the games in certain aspects. Like it's bad. Like it makes it way too easy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw my friend playing get wasted like 3 times within the span of 10 minutes. So death is pretty imminent in this game if you're terrible at it. I guess one character kind of has like the Max Payne bullet time system going on, and even in bullet time mode, you get wasted just as quick. It does have you do get a slight advantage, I guess, in your aiming and all that. But did we really need bullet time for Grand Theft Auto? I think Max Payne had a good hand on that. I guess the other character he has better driving abilities now.
Yeah, that's where I heard it's broken. Like, again, Jeebus, he was playing, and I was playing Diablo 3, and he was playing Grand Theft Auto and just bullshitting with them, and he was doing a racing mission, and he was like in last place, and he started using it, and then within like 30 seconds, he was in first place just because he's hitting the turns like perfectly and all this other shit.
See, I don't know if I see that as an advantage or what, because the whole point of Grand Theft Auto I thought was the driving controls were pretty shitty to begin with. I mean, think about it. If you were playing in the world of Grand Theft Auto and you had to actually stop for every light and follow the traffic so you didn't get a star or whatever, I think you'd have problems there. I think Grand Theft Auto's gameplay time would just quadrupled itself if you had to follow the traffic laws.
Oh yeah, like I usually get it. Takes me about 10 hours to cat to do the story mission. Yeah, let's stop at red lights and shit, and let's see how long it takes you.
So I mean, does a better driving ability really make the game that much easier, or better yet, does the game just it's like cheat mode? I'm just gonna dumb traffic down for you. So I don't know.
Oh, they're making video games a lot easier for people now too.
Well, they already started making them a lot easier at the when they. Okay, fine example. You got an old Nintendo game. You have 3 lives and maybe 2 continues to beat the whole game. Now these days, checkpoint. Oh, autosave. Checkpoint. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're dumping days worth of hours into these games, but I think part of the nostalgic fun for me was a game only had to have a great game. You only needed to have at least 2 hours of content, and the replay value would sell itself because it's challenging just the same every time. Because the randomness of how the characters would spawn, or or the enemy characters would spawn and things like that. Uh, that's just my opinion on things.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is, of course, this is coming from two guys that have not actually played the game yet, though, either. But, yeah, so far, like, since we talked about it last week, I mean, we're just seeing what our opinions, who's played it, who hasn't, out of the two of us. So, yeah, I mean, I still hear great things about it. I do hear, like, their character abilities, like, kind of have broken it. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't even know if I'll end up playing it. Uh, just because it's getting so close to next gens and
Well, that's
whole
true.
money situation. But
Well, here's a fine example. Speaking of next gens, now if you remember the transition from Xbox to Xbox 360, when Call of Duty came out for Xbox, I believe it was one of the release title games, wasn't it?
mm-hmm.
Now, when you bought that game compared to the one for for the lower console, you'd think you'd get the same game, less graphics. Like, well, a fine example, Call of Duty Ghosts is coming out. It's gonna be offered on all platforms, both uh, past gen and next gen. Do you think the gameplay is gonna be the same, or they're just gonna have the same thing, or do you think it's gonna be just same story, dumber graphics? That's my issue with video games when it comes to the next gen.
I see what you're saying and you're using Call of Duty as a good example especially because it's a franchise is a lot of games that are coming out. Well, at least the past couple iterations of generations is, like the last couple, like the start out games haven't been that great. That's pretty much what I'm taking from what you're saying. Like, or like
Well,
you expect oh it's kind of be the same thing or
I could never figure out why if you're gonna have a company work on a game, and you want it to be consistent with storylines and everything. And I know that the company's gonna dump all their money and resources into making the new one be pretty and everything, but you want to cater to the people of the lesser generations. Give them some content, like decent content, or at least try to make it the same.
But I think Call of Duty's on its way out. I mean, they do it too often.
Okay.
It's getting old. Even the multiplayer is getting old. I mean, they're
Pushing for once a new game every year.
Yeah, it's starting to get too repetitive, and the few things that they are adding, I don't really seem to be adding up to. Do I want to keep buying this every year? Like Halo's doing a good thing and not doing it every year, and it makes it feel fresh when something new does come out.
Agreed.
Like the storylines, like I mean, granted, the Ghost storyline is not gonna follow any other story arc from any of the Call of Duties, but yeah, I'm of course I'm gonna play the campaign, beat it on its hardest modes, get either all or most of the achievements, and play the shit out of the multiplayer. But is it gonna fucking change a lot or revolutionize shit? No.
No.
No. I mean, but I think the Call of Duty with Treyarch, Activision, Sledgehammer, these guys, I think they're getting near the end of their rope, man. To tell you the truth, Titanfall looks like is gonna be the next big multiplayer thing. I mean, of course, Halo's always gonna have its seed because I think that's one of the few games that push multiplayer. Of course, GoldenEye, Halo, and Unreal were huge stepping stones for
Yeah, when you could
first person shooter multiplayer, and like Call of Duty, they revolutionized it years ago, but they're just cookie cutter every year now. Cookie cutter. Year. They're not taking 2 or 3 years in between.
Yeah, there's nothing fresh. There's nothing that feels fresh or new. Okay, you give us zombies, and then you add more to zombies. Big deal. Don't get me wrong, I got so tired of the multiplayer that all I do is play zombies or waves on Modern Warfare 3. Online play for me has lost its luster after Modern Warfare 2. Black Ops was kind of fun. Well, can we pause that for a second?
Yeah.
Hello?
All right, sorry about that. We're back. We kind of lost track of where we stopped talking, so we're just gonna move on. And what's the next thing we wanted to talk about?
Oh,
Maybe some techie shit.
we got the new Apple OS 7. It's finally out.
New iPhones too with thumbprint.
Well, if you get the new 5S, you got fingerprint recognition. Don't have to lock your phone no more.
So the iPhone 5 doesn't have it, but the 5S does.
Yeah, it's a new. Instead of having your home buttons now, a thumb reader. I think that's kind of a.
So you can get a new contract or go with a new provider just to get the new phone when it comes out, just for something that minuscule. I know we touched on this last week a little bit, but
We did. It's a new technology in the sense that it's just thumbprint recognition. For me, I think that's a great security thing. That's a great security feature. Do I need it for a new phone that has a newer processor and like what? So far, what my hands on with operating system 7 is iOS 7. It runs smooth. It's fine for what it is. I'm running now, mind you, I'm running on a 4S, and I was under the impression it's only going to work on the iPhone 5s and up. It works great. I like it. I'm still. This is day 2 of having it, so it's easy to get used to. I'm happy I don't have to hold the button and wait for my little red X's to pop up so I can delete what apps are running.
Mm-hmm.
I like the app close slide capability. I like the way the it has more photo features, so I don't have to buy a third party app to do some things with photos. Pretty much
yeah, but of course the updates are free, like for the
yes
operating system.
for iPad owners or iPad, iPhone, iPod owners. The update's free. It's great. If you're used to the old operating, the iOS 6, and you're content with it, stick with it. I don't think this is a big way of modern. This is a big modern change for anything. Mm-hmm. If this is their way of let's evolve from the old mold, it's a good break.
Well, it's got some Android features to it. Maybe on the 5 it does. But once again, I'm not an Apple guy.
Well, like I said, you don't have, the update. All it does is it just gives you like maybe 2 more features that you didn't have before. Like I don't have to download another app to turn on my flashlight. I can swipe up from the bottom, and I have a flashlight button. It'll turn my flashlight on, and it has a couple quick links in there to my camera, calculator, and stopwatch. Also, quick links to turn on, or quick buttons to adjust my brightness, my audio, and my.
And maybe that's what they mean is getting more like Android.
Yeah, because it gives you the feature the Android already has. Like you can turn airplane mode on and off from a quick option. Your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, your Do Not Disturb, and your auto rotation. You can turn it off a little more easier.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what I just saw a comment saying that iOS 7 is more like Android now, and it didn't elaborate on it, and I didn't go into searching for it because I'm an Android guy, so I really didn't give a shit.
Like I said, it doesn't really have an Android feel to it. It's just more Apple, like a more evolved Apple, I guess.
Okay.
Not in a sense, like I said, you can already multi-run apps and all that. It's just, I guess, a way of breaking the mold of the old system, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and one thing that I did see someone say is that it's easier or faster to get access to your camera, because like on my phone, as soon as I hit the top unlock button, I don't have to swipe to unlock it. I've got 4 buttons on the bottom. This is on the HTC One. There's text messaging, phone, uh, unlock, camera, and some other stupid thing. And I can just swipe the camera and bam, camera's on. I don't have to unlock the phone
Well, yeah.
twice and then find my camera app and then hit it and then wait for it to come up. I can just, one swipe and I'm at my camera or my text messages or any of the other shit.
Well, last year when they integrated it in the iOS 6, there was a thing you just click the button and it'll turn your phone on, and there's a button you just swipe up and you can turn your camera on without going into unlocking it or anything.
Yeah, but was it like that already, or did you have to download like a third-party app?
No. It was already like that when iOS 6 come out. That was one of the updates to iOS 6. iOS 5 didn't have it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the six operating system integrated it, I believe. So you just click the button, turn your screen on, you swipe up, and it still has that now today. With the new iOS 7. But,
I did not know that.
But even with iOS...
The more you know.
Well, now...
Do.
Oh, man, NBC is going to get us. But what's nice
There's
now...
no more than 6 notes. They can't copyright infringe that shit.
So what's nice now is when you click the button, instead of just swiping up for just the camera, there's a button for the camera to do that. But now it pulls up, like, find examples, I do this. I click the button and I pull up from the bottom and it pulls up that screen where you don't unlock your phone, but it gives you the ability to turn your phone on, your camera, your calendar.
And for those of you listening, he just showed me how to do it.
I just had to show him as an example, but
for you people with an iPhone, you knew what he was talking about.
I'm just trying to elaborate to him and showing him. But you click the button and you drag your finger up the bottom and it brings up the quick page, and you can turn your flashlight on from it and everything else. But like I said, it's one of the new integration things, and it's just nice to evolve to easier things. I don't know. I don't really believe in this whole Apple revolution where people believe it's got to be a lifestyle. Do I think it's integration to make things easier? Yeah.
See, this is the thing. Like, they make good strides, and like, there's a lot of shit the way it is now because of their pushes in technology. But I don't know. I've never liked Apple, and it's like for long it's always been PC, like IBM for the longest time. I mean, IBM still has strides in technology, but like I like my Android. Like when I was learning interactive multimedia, and I took a semester of classes, it was all in Macs, and this was in 2002, and it was I don't really remember. It might have been Final Cut back then, but we were playing with. I don't really remember.
Well, I still think they use Final Cut to this day. Just not.
Oh yeah, Final Cut still out. There's like Final Cut Pro, like 7 or some shit, and which I don't even use. Like when I make my lengthier YouTube videos, I use a program that I got with my capture card, which is made by Roxio, and I bought like a cheap one. Like it doesn't have HDMI ports on it. And one of the reasons I bought this capture card is because I have a first gen Xbox, so I don't have HDMI. Oh, so I got to use a component, which is fine. Like
yeah, oh no, I'm not. Dying.
The picture's still good. Like I mean, if I put it in 1080i, which I have to record in 1080i, but I don't know. Well, that's a whole nother thing. But no, the program I used is Roxio's. They're like the cheap Roxio editing program shit, and it doesn't have like Final Cut Pro, which you can get on PCs, I guess. But I would love to even just play around with that, like, because like it can do so much better shit than like even Windows Movie Player. I've done a few things on that before. It doesn't always do like I tried doing it actually last week's podcast on Windows Movie Player, like before I left here last time, and for some reason it won't let me put images in the background as the audio went, and I had to use the Roxio's editing software to do that. But yeah, I would love to just use Final Cut Pro, because I see a lot of these guys that I watch on YouTube. I know they use like Achievement Hunter, which is part of Rooster Teeth that does Red versus Blue. I know they use, I think it's Final Cut, and they're able to do a lot of cool shit with it. and I'm sure a lot of other animators use it, and I'm not good at animating. I should get my cousin to animate some shit for us. Not animate, but maybe just draw us some shit.
Oh,
He just made a cool ass. He's like huge. DC comic book nerd, but he loves comic books in general. He just graduated from Ohio University with an art degree, and
that's a rough one.
yeah, but no, he's been doing a lot of cool shit. And actually, he's got a Kickstarter. I'm gonna put a link to that in the description, and he's at least asking for $1 for a Kickstarter campaign.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
man.
so I'm gonna put a link in there. If you guys listen to this far, check it out. He does some real cool shit. He does sports related shit. He does his own versions of comic book characters, video game stuff. But he just did a Master Chief one called Welcome Home, John. And I'm getting them. I'm paying $5 for it. But it's Master Chief, and there's like kind of like a silhouette thing of Cortana, like bigger than him, back behind.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that's just cool. Like I'm gonna frame that. Just cause I kind of like because it's in his kind of style, and it's I don't know, it's kind of cool because I see a lot of these artists now. I go on this tangent now. That are making all this fucking money doing video game comic book stuff, but doing it in their own style. And there's like galleries now, like out in California or wherever, where these people are buying for thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars.
See, this is where I really can't talk about things because I don't really have a scope of art.
Well, no, I
mean,
don't think you have to have a scope of art. It just has to be what you like. I mean,
well, yeah, you want something that's aesthetic to your liking for what pleases your eye. Now, for me, art's art. Someone could draw a piece of poop, and I'd be like, "Wow, that's a nice piece of poop."
that is a good piece of shit.
And the fancy schmancy people are like, we'll just be like, nah, but the art doesn't speak to me in a certain way because it just doesn't pop out at me. I'm like, I don't know, it looks pretty. What do you want me to say? Maybe that's me being, I don't know, closed-minded, or me not taking the time to understand the difference of what I deem art as, or my the eye of the beholder. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, like people like some of the class artists like Van Gogh and shit. Yeah, there's some cool pieces, but but some people like I just look at the art and I'm like, I don't get it, or I don't fucking like it. It's that simple. This is the piece I was talking about. I'm showing Eugene what it is.
I believe I saw this on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, I retweet or refacebook his shit out. I mean, not just because he's family, but I like what he does. I mean.
And like I said, it's a great piece. I mean, the Spartan, Spartan looks great. You see a little bit of Cortana in the back there. It's a great piece. I'll definitely agree with that. Now, like I said, I'll give him the fact that he does great drawing. It's a great sketch, and like I said, for me to say that looks great, the guy that's sitting there that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars his job is to be the art critic. Be like, yeah, whatever.
But fuck critics. I don't care what type of critic you are.
I don't know.
Like, does it really matter? I mean...
No, in my opinion, it doesn't. But
I mean, you have, fucking wine critics. I'm like, that's great. I go, I hate wine. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can... But it's the same thing, with video game or,
It's all about your preference and what's aesthetic to you.
Yeah, well, aesthetic and it doesn't need to be really that aesthetic, or what pleases you, your ear, your eyes.
Exactly.
Taste.
Like I said, everyone's gonna have I don't know, maybe aesthetic isn't the right word to be using because everyone has their own preference. To me, what's aesthetic, I don't know, it's aesthetic to me.
Aesthetically pleasing.
That's it.
No, yeah, I mean, but I read a lot of comics, and even some of my favorite series, I've gone through quite a different Batman comics written by different people, and the art done by different people, and I just fucking what I don't like, and I'll probably get some older comic book nerds bitching, but I don't like the dotted style where you can see the color dots.
Oh,
they're pretty.
Like newspaper print.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. Don't ask me why I hate it. I mean, it's not gonna stop me from reading someone's comic.
Oh,
but I'd rather have something else, like more defined color, like the shading and shit. Don't get me wrong, it's a good vintage way of doing shit, but it's just that's not what I like.
You want definition in your artwork.
Yeah, I mean, I still like some cartoony weird shit too, like Mark Millar's comics, like like Wanted and the Kick-Ass series and shit like that. Like it's really cool. I want to read his Ronin comic because it's not like Wanted or Kick-Ass the art style. I don't know who he got to do the art. I don't think he did it, but it's blocked. Like you can see there's blocks of color, not like dots or just straight seamless shading and shit like that.
They're not blending the colors in, they're using solid color.
Yeah, they're blocking it and it looks really fucking cool.
Cell shaded, if you will.
I guess you could say that, but I'm not real sure. I'm not a big art person, so you guys can tear us up about that, but
I'm just giving a term to the definition if I can define it correctly, which I am very wrong a lot of the time. Ask any person that knows me.
Yeah, I like going into styles and how shit's done. Yeah, I don't know that definitely. I'm just going by what I see. So yeah, I'm sure someone might tear us up on it, but that is what that is.
Hey, here's a little fun fact as I peruse the internet. The original Karate Kid is now the same age that Mr. Miyagi was in the first Karate Kid. He's 51.
Wow. That
makes you feel old.
Fucking horrible.
Oh, how about this? Remember when floppy disks could save or destroy the world? Do any of you kids out there know what a floppy disk is? I don't think you do. Only the people probably 20 years and older might.
Yeah. People born in at least the 80s. Speaking of art, I'm going to call you out on the carpet here. All right. I am a big Stephen King fan. And I got Eugene a couple years ago reading the Dark Tower series. What did you get to?
I'm on book 4 still.
You got the book 4 and you've not read any more of it.
I have not moved on. I got 100
pages. And say why. Say why. I remember you told me this a couple years ago or however long ago.
It goes into the past story of the gunslinger, and I've read up to the part where where he's having the conversation with Blaine the Train, if I remember correctly. And as he gets into it, it goes back to reverting to the days of the past of Roland's youth. And they're talking about how they have to do the riddles. And he's going to is it the conclave or the wizard something, and he has to come up with a riddle to stump. Isn't it you have to come up with a riddle to stump the higher ups or whatever?
I don't fuck, dude. It's been a long time since I finished this series.
Well, either way, I get stuck. I get 100 pages in, and it just loses me. And I've tried reading this book at least 7 times. I'll take it. I'll go to the library. I'll get this book out. Start reading from not where I left off, but from the beginning again, and it just loses my interest.
Get past it. The rest is so good. That's probably one of the best books of that series.
Well, it might be. I can't get to that point because I don't know what it is. It's my loss of interest, or if it's just like, holy fuck, I just want to know where the fucking where they're trying to find. Was it Walter?
I think they were hunting down Walter. Yeah.
I think they're trying to find Walter, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't care about the past. I know I have to learn about the past and about the future, but
it's relevant later. Like it is. There's the whole thing the whole book is. Yeah, you're gonna spend a little bit of time in what they're doing then, but then you're gonna go back and learn why Roland is the way he is and all this shit, and it's fucking badass, and all of it is relevant to the next.
But here's the problem. When I look at Roland in my mind's eye from remembering the fucking first 2 books or whatever, dude's missing 2 fingers. Fucking guy's older than fuck. And he's just all beat up. And I'm just like, how's this guy still moving?
It's badass, dude. That's
fine.
Simple.
This is what I see it. I see it as, you ever watch the movie Phantasm? The
horror movie with
the floating orbs, and they got the crypt keeper, or the guy that's just all stoic looking, the Undertaker looking guy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, either way, I picture Roland being this guy, except with a cowboy hat, and not minus two fingers, just this old guy that's just like, I'm gonna get you. Think of it as, Jason Voorhees just skinnied out as an old guy with fucking
Well, a badass cowboy.
yeah, with a kid. I don't know, or you know what? Maybe think of it as Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino dressed up in a cowboy garb, minus two fingers.
Yeah, but Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino was still pretty hard, though.
Fucking A. I don't care.
But yeah, he's only got 3 fingers. Yeah, not one hand.
Yeah, this dude's missing a lot of shit. I don't know how the fuck he's doing it.
He does it though. It's good. I mean, just you gotta finish that book. Comment to Eugene on this about how he should finish the book and how much he sucks for not finishing it already.
You know what? Maybe I should go audiobook for this one.
Yeah, go audiobook. No, I wanted to sideswipe you with that.
No, there's no sideswiping. It's me just not getting past it.
You gotta get past it, though. You gotta get past it. It's so fucking great.
So I get the Songs of Susanna?
That one's pretty fucked up.
I believe that's the one after this, unless it's the Wolves of the Kala.
No, it's Wolves of the Kala, Song of Susanna, and then the Dark Tower.
Ugh.
Dark Tower's thick as fuck. I think that. Well, I'm trying to think. Is Dark Tower the longest one?
I don't know.
Anyways, I mean, granted, each one gradually got bigger, but no, Song of Susanna might be the longest one actually, because there's a lot of shit that goes down in that. But yeah, but what I do like, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you or anyone.
Spoilers! Close my ears.
No, but I bought the special edition, because when I was reading it, the series wasn't finished yet. So I read it, and Stephen King came out with the original version of Dark Tower, and then by the time I got to the Dark Tower, he released a special edition where book ends at this point, and then he writes an epilogue, and more to the end of the chapter, and he just basically says, I left the story off where I wanted to leave it off. He goes, it was about the journey, not the end. But since so many of you people are crying about it, here's the fucking end, and fuck you. And then it's maybe about 15 pages more, and I feel like the ending that way was a big fuck you, and you're just like,
well,
that's good.
So when I get to the Dark Tower, Stephen King writes 15 more pages as a fuck you.
Yeah.
To the gripers. Now, okay, if you know this is my take on that. We use J.J. Abrams in his fucking series Lost.
Okay.
Great fucking series. Loved it from beginning to.
I've never watched it. I know all about it because I've talked to people that watched it die hard during the entire thing.
Okay, well.
And I don't watch a lot of TV, so I just let people tell me every week what happened.
This is there's zero spoilers about what I'm explaining to you.
Well, it's been long enough to where you can.
I don't even care about spoiling it because you know what? I'm not gonna ruin it because it's that great of a series. Up until the last episode, you know what you do with that last episode? You don't watch it. You make up your own ending. I think that's what Stephen King was trying to do, and fucking, I guess what it is for me when it comes to TV shows is since you get the ocular fucking. The ocular movement, it's like, ooh, pretty, and then then you get the visuals, or the visual, you get the visuals and the audio with the books. It's like all imagination, so you're drawing everything on your own. So once you get to that point, you can only come up to your conclusion. But since you're already making your own imagination of it, it kind of fucks you because you're like, he already made me picture this, and he made me picture that. I can't end it on my own terms because then it's not original. Like, not how he portrayed things as, but he only wanted to get so far. And, and he wanted to leave it at that because he wanted people to imagine their own ending. Now, J.J. Abrams gave people an ending, and it was poop.
Well, yeah, it wasn't I can't remember, but I ended up reading, that actual last synopsis of that last episode because people were like, oh, this is fucking stupid. And I'm like, okay, let me, because I already knew the premise. Like, it was a moving island. It wasn't in time.
Oh,
Like,
you know what?
all that's like the black cloud, blah blah blah. Like, what was the last episode? Didn't like the black cloud like, come out of a cave, and you're like, oh, I guess that's it, or some shit.
The last episode, to be honest with you, I blocked out of my memory. I remember, it wasn't so much the last episode. You could, to summon the black smoke monster.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many references to like connections of religions, like like darkness and light, and the story of like Cain and Abel, like where there's the balance of things.
Yeah, if you have good, you have to have bad.
Yeah. Um, and along those things, and at the same time, I guess here's where the spoilers come in. Uh, for me, I didn't really understand it because they gave you so many different references to different religions, your own little take on things. I mean, the science aspect of time and space, and moving forward and back in time. I really couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. But what it comes down to is what sticks in my mind is Jack is because they start going back in time, then they go forward in time, and then they go sideways in time. Like this is going on at this time, the same as parallel to this. But what happens is everyone ends up meeting in this church, and everyone. So what the reference is, and there's someone in a coffin that's already there, and I can't remember who's in the coffin or what it's about. But the correlation was like everybody on that island was in this church. And I think the correlation was that everybody was already dead and they're just meeting in heaven, but they're going on this crazy adventure. And it's kind of like the story of the 5 people we meet in heaven by Mitch Albom, or whatever, Mitch something.
Don't know, never read it.
Either way, it's his take. Well, everyone has their own take of how things are, and in this case, his take of it was like everyone, no matter what, is going to meet at one place, even if it was a catastrophic, accident. And everyone's going to meet in a higher being place. I called it heaven because it was in a church.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from my opinion on it was, everyone goes on a journey, and no matter what, they see everyone at one last time, and everyone goes to walk away to do their own thing. Because after that, it's a big flash. You see someone looking up in the sky. I believe it's Jack, the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see a dog. And you see a plane flying overhead. So who knows if this is like someone's, like if it's the guy's dream, the dog's dream.
Maybe it's a continual loop.
Or like maybe all those people were still on the plane up above and this guy's just having a dream.
Yeah.
So my whole take is
now with an ending like that, would you compare that to the Sopranos ending?
No, that was just a big fuck you.
The Sopranos ending?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are like, no, I'm fine with that.
Well, guess what? All the people that were lined up waiting for the Sopranos movie, kind of fucked now. James is dead.
Yeah, that sucks. We're not talking shit on that. That's horrible that Gandolfini died, but
yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's when we talk about death, like I don't know James personally. He was a great actor for the movies he did, and I give him respect for that. But as for the Sopranos movie, I could have cared less.
I think I could have cared less too. I liked Sopranos. I watched it when it was there, and it was good, but I could do without it. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing I would want.
I don't see myself.
They probably would have ruined it anyways. Like what was left of The Sopranos and Love, they probably would have fucked it up with a movie.
Well, I don't know. In all honesty, if it was me creating that ending, and just to end the series for everything, just have him get hit. Tony gets killed and eaten dinner with his family. End of the story.
Well, I think that's why they left it the way it was.
Well, I'm just saying they should have just followed through with it. Because, I mean, think about it. If you were going to start a movie from that, they should have just showed him getting whacked. Because that would have been the end all to be all. Then it's done. Why leave it hanging?
Well, I think that's why they wanted it. And this goes full circle back to Stephen King, is why the original way he left the last book the way it was.
Well, see, we can't have that talk right now, can we?
Well, I'm just saying.
You can explain to them, but
However they leave it is how it should have been left. But people griped and bitched, and it's the same thing with The Sopranos. That people still gripe and bitch to this day about, oh, that was a horrible ending, and some people were like, oh, it was fucking great. Stephen King ultimately gave in, but it was a big fuck you at the end. I think what J.J. Abrams did with Lost was probably not entirely his fault.
well,
This is just speculation here.
well, you got to think about it.
He's probably had people going at him saying, well, you have to have a very general ending so people weren't questioning blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, at some
Probably
point,
why he wrote that shit.
Well, what I'm saying is, at some point, he wasn't the full on writer.
Yeah.
You only write on a show for so long, and then I think he was just producing after that. And
Yeah, he might have been ghostwriting though too, and
maybe I don't know. I kind of like the whole theory of, like, when I hear Kevin Smith talk about about being a producer. Because everyone asks, what's a producer? And everyone goes, I don't know what the fucking producer does. Well, then you're perfect for the job.
I think you've actually played a part of that podcast or whatever, or him talking about that. I think a lot of people don't like Kevin Smith as anything, whatever he does. Either be directing, he'll say he's a horrible actor, that's why he plays Silent Bob a lot. Producing, whatever. I mean, I want to see Red State because I hear it's fucking just phenomenal and just outlandish, just fucking crazy. But I mean, he did make a couple shitty movies.
In
like
reference to?
Jersey Girl.
Okay, now think about this. He's friends with Affleck. He was trying to make a family movie. In a sense, he's breaking his mold. He's not trying to be typecast and writing Jay and Silent Bob. He's actually he's trying to explore his directing capabilities and writing abilities.
Yeah, but he also made a couple. He made a couple movies I didn't realize he fucking ended up making. Like I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But didn't he make like Geely or whatever the fuck that shitty movie was?
No.
Or he produced or something?
I don't think
He made a couple movies that I was surprised. Like,
well, he did write. He did do a writing for what the hell is that movie? Coyote Ugly. He wrote a script for it, or did a part of a script for it, and only one line he had was used in the whole thing.
Well, he probably got paid for it, so he doesn't give a shit.
Well, and I think it might even got cut out too, so I don't even know. You know what I mean?
Well, anyways, like, a lot of people like hate the way he does shit, but I think he's good for Hollywood though. He likes original new IPs, and a lot of people don't want to do that anymore. Look at half the shit they're remaking fucking RoboCop, for Christ's sakes.
That's not, dude. There's all kinds of. Okay, here's a fine example. How many times Carrie need to be remade?
How many times has been? They did the original Carrie, Carrie 2,
and then
remade Carrie again.
Guess what?
And they're doing it again with God, that girl from Kick-Ass. I can't think of her name right now.
It doesn't matter.
Chloe Mortensen.
Either way.
And she's gonna be a fucking hottie.
Either way, the point being is, when are we gonna come up with something original? Okay, now, like...
But you pretty much have to go to, like, fucking comic books for that anymore, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's not even, like...
Or fucking books, like...
Comic books are being revamped every time. Like, okay, like, we'll use you have the X-Men, you have the Uncanny X-Men, or the Marvelous, whatever. They have all kinds of reiterations of things. When I say something truly original, okay.
Well, I'll give, and for you saying that this isn't the best example, but Sucker Punch. That was original and written by Zack Snyder and his wife.
I haven't watched it yet.
Not the best movie in the world. It's good eye candy, but I like watching it every once in a while. It is what it is. But hey, he took a shot. I think he even produced it, but he definitely wrote and directed it, I believe. And it was original. It was something new.
Okay, here's a fine example. I think maybe Hollywood. This is what kills me in Hollywood and these fucking Marvel and DC. They're doing reiterations of this and that, and you know what? Fine examples. when we were growing up, we had Stallone playing Judge Dredd,
Mm-hmm.
and then just this last year we had fucking Carl
Carl Urban.
playing the new Dark Judge Dredd. There's no
I
Raj.
liked him as Dredd though.
No, he's great. And what
Yeah.
I'm saying is
That movie was real good too. I really liked that.
exactly what I'm saying is you don't really need a new story. You don't really need to remake something. Take the story, add canon, or change or take it.
Or change the canon.
Or exactly. Or if
Like
you,
what Abrams did with the new Star Trek shit.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, he kind of used what was there before.
it's revamped, but he's not using. Yeah, well, even with part 2, have you watched part 2 yet?
Oh yeah, I've watched it like a couple. I mean, I really like it,
Okay, now
but they just took the second Star Trek movie and
switch things around.
switched things around.
But I like that in a sense because he's trying to keep things in his sense of style, his world. He's not directly ripping everything, but he's you know what I mean. He's giving reference to and he's filling fandom, and doing it in the right way. So I respect.
Yeah, he's changing the canon up. It's not the same cookie cutter shit we're always fucking seeing.
Exactly. So the only time I'll ever shit on JJ in the Star Trek series if he ever has him go fucking after whales.
No, yeah, we've talked about this before when we drunkenly talked
Yeah.
one night.
Yeah, JJ goes with whales, I'm punching JJ in the dick. Yeah. Mark my words, JJ Abrams. If you ever listen to this or a friend of a friend tells you about this, you got one dick punching if you put whales in a movie as the main story.
No
Anyways.
whales.
Yeah. He's my friend.
Fuck whales. You know what? I'm gonna put that as because I have to tag shit for when I put this on YouTube. I'm just gonna put fuck whales.
Nice. So anyways, yeah, you can just take any comic book. There's shit comics out there that people don't like, but it could be turned if Hollywood were to put like I don't know like a $50,000 investment to roll something into it. You can produce movies for cheap, like or pay comic books like they do the animated movies, like the Superman vs. Doomsday.
Oh yeah, some of those are fucking great.
The Dark Knight Return series.
Yeah, they did it twice. They made it into
part
2.
1 and part 2.
Yeah, and they did really good with sticking to the comic
RoboCop
book.
did the voice of Batman, Peter Weller.
Yeah, Peter Weller. I wonder how he feels about fucking the new RoboCop movie.
I don't know, but they better not have Lois being played by the same lady.
What?
His partner Lois. In RoboCop, the first RoboCop.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Her name was Lois.
Yeah, she was kind of fucking annoying.
Well, she was supposed to be kind of quirky, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember who.
Murphy.
It's probably gonna be a fucking dude this time, and he's gonna be like in gay love with him.
Oh, is it gonna be what? Okay, talking about things along those lines. How do you feel about the non-Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
I like him. I like it. The new Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I like it.
I liked it with it went with the story. It wasn't all Tobey Maguire, but it had a little bit of that quirkiness to it.
Yeah, you mean like the Spider-Man quirks?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like this kid as Spider-Man. I at first I liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I would say maybe near the end of 2, and then definitely Spider-Man 3.
Lost it.
Done. I'm done with it. This kid seems. I don't know. I like him. I haven't seen too much of the shit he's been in. I saw actually a movie with him called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. It was. Have you ever seen that?
I did see that.
That's actually the last movie.
Well, it's not
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. That's right.
Like he died during that. Well, because he was doing.
He played one of the roles.
Yeah, Dark Knight and.
Imagine.
I think they were filming at the same time, and so they got like Depp and Jude Law and shit to do his parts.
Yeah.
After he'd passed, which I thought was real cool. Kind of neat movie. Like that's a good new original IP.
I just watched it. I think it was a year
plus
ago.
that redhead's fucking hot.
To be honest with you, I can't remember the premise of the movie or where the story goes with it because I watched it over a year ago, and that was a place in my life where I don't really. There's a lot of movies I watch where I can't remember things thoroughly.
It's basically a guy making bets with the devil.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess. I guess basically you could sum it up to the devil. It's basically people with faith, and then you have this guy that's basically the devil. Right and wrong, and all this other shit.
This is here.
So basically, yeah, it's just guy versus devil, blah blah blah, or making bets with devil trying to win, and it's just going on and on and on and on.
Gotcha.
And it's the Imaginarium and what have you. So
yeah, I just couldn't remember the premise of it. So,
but actually, I think we're getting pretty late into this. Oh. We're over an hour, and this is gonna take forever to upload. So
I guess we'll wrap it up now then.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. So please comment, like, subscribe, share this shit. Surprisingly, we had 53 people listen to that this last time, and thanks again, Ken, for saying something about sucking clocks. If you could actually explain what that means, we would appreciate it. And share it out. I know you're not a fucking nerd, or I know you're a closet homosexual, so...
Please, is it just putting a watch in my mouth? I'll put a watch in my mouth.
That's not hard. Everyone.
But it's a watch. That's not a clock. Describe how big you want this clock.
Yeah. Does it need to have 2 hands or 1?
Is it gonna be really veiny? Do clocks have veins? Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah. So please comment, like, subscribe, and we will catch you next week. Later.
See ya.